What's good, y'all? I already know where y'all at. It's your boy Star Jones, and it's a new episode of Star Views. It's about to start right now. So please, I hope you got your hookah ready, and I hope you got your cups full of whatever ready, because I got a lot to talk about, alright? Know what's going on. Star Jones, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Please and thanks, you heard? Folks, it's your man Star Jones. I'm back, man, with another episode of Star Views. I think this is number 7. So yeah, I'm gonna try to keep tracking them before I actually lose track. So episode 7, tonight we're gonna be talking about the latest action thriller to hit the theaters. First, I just want to say it's so good to be back in the theaters. It feels good. It feels good. The theater for me, the movie theaters for me is a home away from home. So yeah, folks, the theaters is open. Some form of normalcy is happening now. So, definitely get back in the theaters. Shout out to AMC for doing a good job of, spacing people out the way they should be and adhering to the COVID protocol. So, just want to shout out AMC really quickly. So, again, as I mentioned on my Chopping It Up episode, I talked about this week, we was going to get Wrath of Man, starring Jason Statham, directed by Ritchie. So, pretty much this is another action thriller Jason is putting on his resume. And we all know Jason is known for, his action movies. Whether it was Transporter, one of the three, or Crank. He got a bunch of action movies, So here's another one tallied up on his resume. So when I come back, we're going to talk about what exactly transpired in the film. I'm going to try to leave as much spoilers out as possible, as always. But if I am going to give you a spoiler, I will disclaim that before I say anything. And then at that point, you can move on and do something else or double back before you see it if you haven't seen the movie already. So I will be smoking hookah with you guys today. So let me go get this situated and I'll be right back. All right. So we back. Time to get into it. Let's talk about it. Wrath of Man. But before I really dive into what took place in the movie and give you the overview of the film, I know you guys have seen Den of Thieves and the Armored movies, where they were centered around people stealing money from security companies and armored trucks. That's pretty much the center of this as well. So I'm sure you guys are familiar with the Brinks trucks out there in the world, the big brolic trucks, bulletproof. I think they're gray and the letters are in blue. So pretty much, if you don't know what that is or that of that company or familiar with these type of security companies, their responsibility is to transport, and secure money drops from one point to another, whether their banks, businesses, etc. That's their sole purpose, is getting the money safely from one point to another, and that's what's going on in this film. And I'm going to call this part of the film the prologue because the movie's kind of broken up into chapters. So in the prologue, the immediate scene, the initial scene in the film, we're introduced to these unnamed security guards for an armored truck company. So as they're going on their route, they're ambushed by what we think are construction workers, but essentially are people that's trying to rob them for the money on the truck. And in this scene, things go left, the 2 security guards are killed, and another person is killed. We don't see it, but we hear gunshots go off again after we see the 2 security guards get killed. So these are the events that kind of set the tone for the film and the plot. So after that, we're immediately introduced to a character by the name of H, and that's Jason Statham's character, and he's having an interview with the same security company that we saw in the prologue where the 2 security guards were killed. So pretty much as the film goes on, he has this whole mysterious nature about him. Like, he doesn't disclaim a lot. He's not much of a talker. And his co-workers and everyone are they're all trying to figure out, why is this guy so mysterious? Why he doesn't talk much, etc. As the film progresses, we learn that his son, H's son, was murdered in the opening scene. But again, we knew that a third person was shot, but again, it was off screen and we didn't see it. We learned that it's his son. This is not a spoiler because we know that his son dies in the trailer. They make it a point of letting us know that his family member was killed. And now this is just a matter of you seeing it happen. So we learn that his son dies, and he ends up taking a job in a security company to try to discover if it was an inside job and who was responsible ultimately for killing his son. So that's pretty much the movie in a nutshell. It's just us learning about, what happened, what transpired, who did it, who's responsible, and guns are blazing. He's shooting everything in sight and making sure, he knows exactly who's responsible for killing his kid. Very action-packed from beginning to end. The movie doesn't really waste time. Like I said, the opening scene is them, the security truck getting hijacked and ambushed. So that's pretty much it. Through the course of the film, we're introduced to other characters as well, like these veterans that are in the film. They just came home from doing a tour in Afghanistan, I believe, and they're struggling to make ends meet, and then they have motivations for making money on the side. And then pretty much we see said veterans' lives get intertwined with H. And then from there, I can't tell you anything else, but pretty much this is something like, this is similar to Remorse in the sense of H trying to avenge his son's death. Like in Without Remorse, Michael B. Jordan's character was out to find out who killed his wife and kid. Same here. So that gives you a good idea. And again, like I said, the movie is like the movie Wrath of Man is like the movie Armored and Den of Thieves put together. Armored trucks, heists, and a lot of shooting. So again, that's pretty much the movie in a nutshell. And when I come back, I'm going to let you guys know what I rate the film, the pros and cons, and whether or not you should see it. All right? So I'm going to enjoy this hookah. I know you guys are at home enjoying yours. I'll be back in a second. So we're at that point in the show where I'd like to tell you guys how I'm going to rate the film, pretty much whether or not you guys should go to the theaters and see it. Sounds good to say theater again. Go to the theaters and see it. But, yeah, but I also, like to put you guys on to the pros and cons of the film and, why I'm motivated in my feelings and why I'm giving it the grade that I feel it deserves. You know what I'm saying? So, first, I want to shout out Guy Ritchie. This is one of my first pros. Guy Ritchie did an amazing job. I'm not quite familiar with his work too much. Maybe I've seen his work in the past and I'm just not familiar or knew it was his, unbeknownst to me. But Guy Ritchie did a really good job of taking a simple story, as I mentioned. It was a simple story, simple plot, and just, putting it on the screen and making it good work. I think it was good work. The cinematography was good. There was one particular scene. It's the camera work that's important. Like I said, I like movies down to the most minute details. And one of the details I'm about to mention is there was a scene where H's character was in a car with his business associate. And when they opened the door, the camera zoomed out. And when the guy closed the door, the camera zoomed in. But it was just like, it was just so smooth. And I'm sure you guys at home are probably like, Star, who cares? But like I said, details like that are very big to me. I'm very big on the art of making movies. So that right there was just something that stood out. The dialogue in the film was really good. There was a scene with Post Malone, because shout out to Post Malone. Post Malone was also, he made it, I guess, his actorial debut. Wasn't that good, but everybody got to start somewhere. So, yeah, it was a scene with Post Malone. And I don't want to ruin it, but he meets his end. And I tell you this because, again, he doesn't have a huge role in the film. So he meets his end, but the dialogue between him and the character H was very funny. He said something about, yo, suck my... And when H goes to shoot him, he goes, suck your own. And then I think that exchange of words was hilarious. I just think that was so funny. The theater agreed with me because we all in the theater laughed as a combined group, synchronized. It was all at the same time. But also, the this is something that normally bothers me and would normally be a con for me, but I like continuity. I like everything in chronological order. I like sequence of events to go smooth. Like I don't like jumping from time frame to time frame. And in this movie, Guy Ritchie had time jumps, but the time jumps were great because they gave the story full details. And usually, sometimes with movies, when they do time jumps, they don't disclaim that there's a time jump. And then, if they do a time jump, it lacks a lot of detail. So sometimes you have plot holes and you're missing a lot of information. This movie was kind of broken down into chapters. So each chapter, the screen would black, and then it would just have a word. It wouldn't say chapter 1 or 2. It would just black out. A word or phrase would pop up, and then so as the movie progresses, again, as I told you in the prologue, they had this scene which sparked the entire movie. So as the movie went on, in each chapter, you got the vantage point or perspective from different characters in the film, and pretty much it just unraveled details for us to finally learn who was responsible for killing H's son. So I think that was amazing. I think that was a good. And again, usually I would hold that against a movie, but because it was so much detail in the time jumps, it worked out and it made it easy for viewers to grasp what was going on. So as far as cons are concerned, there weren't too many. If you were looking for an action movie, like a fighting movie, this is not one of Jason Statham movies where he fights, because I know he fights a lot, but this is more of a shoot 'em up, bang bang type of flick. A lot of gun work, you know what I'm saying? A lot of gun talk. So with all that said, like I said, it's not too many cons. So with that said, I'm going to give this 7.5 stars. I think it was really good. I think people will enjoy it. If you haven't been to the movies in a long time, due to the pandemic, I think this is a great movie to pop your cherry, so to speak, back into the theaters. I think it's good. And again, to go back to the movies, it felt good, and to see a movie that was really good, it felt good. It was worth it. You know what I'm saying? So go to the movies, check it out. There won't be a sequel, so you'll leave the theater with closure. You don't have to worry about, oh, what's gonna happen next. I like movies like that. Sometimes they just end. So it's good. I think the movie was really good. I think 7.5, is solid. So definitely check it out. Shout out to Jason Statham. Shout out to Guy Ritchie. They did an amazing job. And like I said, it's action packed, man. My heart was racing, and it wasn't predictable. So I think any movie that's not predictable and you just don't know who's responsible for what until near the closing end of the movie is a good thing. So definitely check it out. 7.5 stars. And with that said, pardon me. And with that said, I will see you guys next week. I will be on vacation, so I don't know how I'm going to do this and how soon I will get the episode for Spiral out. Spiral is the movie with Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. It's the latest installment in the Saw franchise. I'm personally over Saw movies, but again, as I mentioned in my chopping it up video, I want to support Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson and just see what it is. They might bring some life back to it. And that comes out May 14th. So again, I'll be on vacation, so I just got to figure out how soon I'm going to get it to you guys, because I know it's not going to be immediately. It may be a couple days after the release, but I'm going to try to get it done as soon as possible, so you have something to look forward to next week. So with that said, that's my time. And y'all enjoy the rest of your night and weekend, alright? Be good. Oh, y'all still here? Appreciate y'all for sticking around, man, but I don't got no more hookah. But what I do have is more content on my YouTube channel. So please, if you haven't done so already, hit that red button and subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notified as soon as I post anything, alright? And if you haven't already followed me on social media, here's my information. Make sure y'all follow up. Appreciate it. Y'all still here, man. That's valid. Have a good one.